Saturday saw the third and final test between New Zealand and England in Hamilton, on a ground where the All Blacks had only lost once in 11 previous tests. The home side were chasing a 17th straight victory. Team news for the Kiwis saw the loss of experienced outside centre Conrad Smith, with Malachi Fekitoa deputising. 2013 IRB Player of the Year Kieran Reid returned to the side after concussion problems, with Jerome Kano shifting to 6 to accommodate him. As for the tourists, they made 7 changes in all from the side that lost out by a point in Dunedin. Kyle Eastman returned to inside centre to partner Manu Tuilangi, who moved back in from the wing. Ben Youngs and Freddie Burns replaced the injured half-back pairing of Danny Kerr and Owen Farrell, whilst Chris Ashton, Dylan Hartley, Courtney Laws and Billy Vunipola were handed their first starts on tour. In the previous 2 tests, it had been England who had looked to seize the initiative from the start. However, the All Blacks looked in no mood to wait around this time. Ben Smith putting in Julian Savia for an early score in the corner. Fullback Mike Brown unable to stop him with a last-ditch tackle as New Zealand punished their opponents on the overlap. Fly half Aaron Cruden couldn't convert, and his opposite number Burns was soon able to cut the gap to 2 with a penalty. Aaron Smith penalised for being offside at the ruck. New Zealand came back strongly again, working the ball swiftly along the back line to Cruden, and despite his pass not going to hand, Savia was able to make the pick-up and step inside for his second score. The Kiwis began to look rampant, and Savia thought he had a hat-trick not long after, only to be ruled out for a forward pass from fullback Smith. They were able to come away with points not long after though, Cruden easily slotting over a penalty. It was starting to look bleak for Stuart Lancaster's men, but they were offered a brief respite when Burns knocked over another penalty to bring the scores to 15-6. However, their cause wasn't helped when Billy Vunipola was sent to the sin bin for a high tackle on Cruden. And from there, the All Blacks began to take advantage of the extra room. A wonderful move down the right wing involving Ben Smith and Corey Jane helped send in Aaron Smith. Manu Tuilangi unable to do enough with a last-gasp tackle. They scored in similar fashion soon after. Ben Smith again involved, and it was his namesake Aaron again on the end of it, scoring his second of the game. Cruden with the conversion to leave England on the ropes at 29-6 down. The tourists came out with a steely determination in the second half though, and after a wonderful break involving Joe Launchbury, Youngs and Tuilangi, England were able to recycle, and Marlon Yard had his second try in as many games with a great piece of opportunism. Freddie Burns knocked over a difficult conversion, and Yard thought he had another almost immediately after, only to be held up over the line by a combination of All Black defenders. The score stayed the same for much of the second half, but it was England who continued to be on the offensive. Yard a constant threat coming in off his wing, making an incisive break and beating Marnonu in the process, but unable to put in Luther Burrell, who was free in space on the right. The away side kept up the pressure and forced a sin binning for the All Blacks. Wyatt Crockett, the victim of repeated offences at the breakdown from his side. As much pressure as they had though, England just couldn't force another score, and it was New Zealand who would have the final say in the match. Ben Smith and Corey Jane again involved down the right as they combined to put in Savia for his hat-trick score and put the icing on the cake for an impressive series whitewash against a strong England side. For England, a frustrating final test, but a host of positives to come out of the tour for Stuart Lancaster. However, in the end, the might of the All Blacks proved just too strong. The final score from the Waikato Stadium in Hamilton, New Zealand 36, England 13.